Hi, I'm Andrew Wright with Inner Science Research Fund.
And I'm Dr. Hillary Hamilton, also with Inner Science.
And today we are excited to share with you the latest study published by the HeartMath Institute and Dr. Joe Dispenza. And we're proud to say that this research was funded in part by Inner Science.
This peer-reviewed paper was published in Explore, the Journal of Science in Healing, and you can download a PDF at sciencedirect.com. Also, you can go directly to our website, innerscienceresearch.org, or follow us on social media and access all the available papers funded by us for free.
Have you ever been in a large group meditation and really felt the energy of the room? That incredible sense of connection? Well, what if it wasn't just a feeling? What if it was something real, something measurable, that could literally ripple out across the whole world? That's exactly what this scientific paper is all about. And honestly, the results are pretty mind-blowing. And it all comes down to a really big question. Can our minds, when we focus them together, actually influence the physical world around us?
For thousands of years, spiritual traditions have said yes. But the big question for today is, can we actually prove it? Can we measure it with science? Can our shared intention create a ripple that we can actually detect in reality? Okay, section 1, a global consciousness field. We're listening for a planetary pulse. Now, to even start to answer that big question, you have to wonder, is there even such a thing as a global consciousness? And if there is, how in the world would you even go about measuring something like that? Well, that's where something called the Global Consciousness Project comes in. For years, scientists have been running this absolutely incredible experiment. Think of it like this. They're trying to listen for a planetary heartbeat. They want to see if major global events, things that grab the attention and emotions of millions of people all at once, can actually create a synchronized blip on their network.
So how do they listen? They use these special devices called random number generators, or RNGs. Now, all you need to know is that these things are built to perfectly be totally random. It's like a super high-tech coin flipper, just spitting out zeros and ones over and over and over. Now, they should just be producing something like pure static, right? But what if, during moments of intense collective human focus, they suddenly weren't so random anymore? All right, now let's get into the experiment that took place at a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat. So with that big global idea as a backdrop, a recent study decided to take things a step further. They zoomed way in. They took this concept of a global field and tested it in a very specific and really powerful environment, one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's large group healing meditation, or coherence healing.
And the way they set this up was just brilliant. They had two totally separate systems running at the same time. First, you have the local network. This was an RNG tower with 40 of those random devices, and they put it right there in the middle of the meditation room. Then, at the exact same time, they were watching the global network of over 700 of these devices scattered all over the world. Now, here's the kicker, and this is so important. These two networks have zero physical connection. None. They should be completely independent, totally random, and have absolutely nothing to do with one another.
And just look at this. This is the actual RNG tower that was on the stage. So this little device is basically their scientific ear to the ground. It's there to listen to see if the incredible coherent energy of over 1,000 people all focusing their intention on healing could create some kind of measurable effect, some kind of field right there in the room. Here's where things get really wild. What the researchers found wasn't just limited to the room. Nope. Something totally unexpected started to happen. Something that seemed to connect that one room to the entire planet.
Okay, check this out. Just look at these graphs. The top row is the data from the tower in the room. The bottom row is the data from the global network all around the world. And check it out. During these 3 specific healing meditations, they start moving together in this really strange way. Why on earth would 2 completely separate, supposedly random systems start mirroring each other like this? It's pretty amazing.
And you might be thinking, okay, maybe that's just a one-time fluke, but it wasn't. The researchers looked at data from 15 different healing meditations across 5 separate retreats, and you can see it right here again and again. The local tower and the global network, they just keep tracking each other in the same or perhaps supernatural way. Remember, this is all supposed to be random static noise, but it doesn't look random. It looks like they're dancing together. So now we're moving beyond just random chance. Seeing this visual pattern is one thing, it's a great clue, but to turn a clue into actual scientific proof, you have to run the numbers. You have to find the statistical diamond in the rough, and they found it.
When they crunched all the numbers and calculated the average correlation between what was happening in the room and what was happening around the world during the meditations, they got this number, 0.27. In a system that is supposed to be completely random, the correlation should be 0. So getting a 0.27, that's not just a signal, that's a massive signal. How massive? Well, the statistical proof comes down to something called a p-value. It basically tells us the odds that this whole thing wasn't just a random coincidence.
So what are the odds? Well, the odds of this correlation happening just by random chance are less than 1 in 100. Think about that. This tells us with a high degree of certainty that something real, something measurable, was actually connecting these two systems. And this bar graph just makes it so clear. See all those blue bars? That's what the results are supposed to look like if it's all random chance. It's a nice, neat bell curve right around 0. But look at where their actual result is. That gold line way over there at 0.27, it's a total outlier. It's way outside the realm of chance. This is the statistical proof that something real was going on.
Let's talk about the ripple across the world and what this all means for you. So we've got a repeating phenomenon that is statistically significant, and it's not just chance. But what does that actually mean? Especially for you, if you meditate or if you've been to one of these retreats, what's the big takeaway here? This next part is just so cool. When the scientists averaged all the data from the tower and the room, this very specific shape started to appear. And get this, the paper points out that it looks a lot like something called an evoked potential.
An evoked potential is the kind of electrical signature you see when someone's brain is responding to a stimulus, like a flash of light. It's almost as if the group's coherent energy acted like a pulse, and it evoked a structured, organized response from the physical environment itself, which is wild. What does this all mean? Well, first it means that focused group meditation might be creating an actual measurable effect. Second, that effect may not just exist in the room you're in, it could actually be creating a coherent ripple that extends globally.
And finally, what's so amazing is that science is now giving us a new language to describe these deep, interconnected experiences. You know, for anyone who's ever sat in a group meditation and felt the powerful, undeniable connection, this study is basically scientific validation. It's evidence that what you're feeling is real. It's measurable. It has an impact that is way bigger than you might ever imagined. And that really brings us to this final powerful idea from Dr. Joe Dispenza. Science is the language we use to demystify the mystical.
For centuries, people have had these profound experiences and called them mystical or supernatural. But what if they're just a natural part of being a human who's intentionally turning inward and connecting to something greater? And this research doesn't take away the magic, not at all. It gives us a new way to understand it, a new language to talk about it, and it really suggests that the coherence you create inside yourself, well, it just might have the power to create real coherence in the world all around you.
For more information about this research and the retreats, please visit drjoedispenza.com.
And to learn more about inner science and supporting this kind of research, visit innerscienceresearch.org.